I've been doing the mobile mechanic thing in one way or another since telephones were still attached to the wall and cordless phones were really rare. Cell phones didn't exist and carburetors were still standard equipment. Minded their own damn business and didn't get all up into ours. My first experience with slinging a wrench, well, other than the old man throwing everything down one day in the garage and said, if you want to ride it, talking about the snowmobiles, you fix it. It was a little time for Uncle Sam, and after I got done with him, I spent some time in the neighborhood. That was a whole education unto itself. Forget about the wrenches. I learned more than I ever wanted to know during my time in the neighborhood. But that's another story. I've taken calls to shacks in the middle of nowhere that were overrun with kids, and people had to count their pennies in order to settle up at the end of the job. I've left oil spots and $1 million homes driveways from my leaky service vehicles, and all was forgiven because I got the pontoon boat going or the four-wheeler up and running before the big gathering. I've had customers curse me and want to have physical altercations because things didn't go like they expected. And I've had people give me hugs, tips, and in one case, a guy jump up in the air and click his heels because he had 3 other guys out there and nobody else could figure out what was wrong with his freaking car that had been in the backyard for 2 years. And during all that time, just like you, I've lived on this world and I've experienced things. I understand what society used to call normal and all that fun stuff. But where we are today, I guess it comes down to what I've been saying all along. What people don't seem to understand is there has been a battle between good and evil going on ever since we got here. And it comes out in all shapes and forms. And it all comes down to culture. That's why a certain political party specializes in culture. Because if they can change the culture, they can mold reality into what they want. And that's what you've been witnessing. And what we're on the verge of is humanity collectively standing up and finally saying, no, we ain't doing that. And some of the stuff that we had been doing, we ain't doing that no more. So, let me run this down again. Just like I have been doing all along, based on the pieces that I see as it unfolds. If I was going to explain what we're looking at, what Trump has been building up to, is the old lady that swallowed the fly. Except for you replace the old lady with the Obama administration. And everything that unfolded major-wise with Trump after that is like another verse of the old lady who swallowed the fly. But the big scandal is, if that's not bad enough, the things that they did in the Obama Obama administration swallowed the fly nursery rhyme pale in comparison to what was the reasoning behind why they actually did it in the first place. In the words of Hillary Clinton, after Donald Trump soundly mopped the floor with her in the last debate, when she was going off on Donna Brazil in a tirade about why she was so underprepared and so forth and so on, which was all within her control. She said, if that mother effer gets elected, we're all going to hang. And she turned around and looked at the rest of the room, and she said, if I go down, you're all going down with me. So what do you think that means? How far are they willing to go based on what we've seen ever since all this unfolded, including it's even part of the fucked up nursery rhyme that's been going on ever since Donald Trump announced he was going to become president? How far do you think they're willing to go to keep their necks out of what the Constitution says should be in a noose? That's where we're at, and that's what I've been saying for 8 years now on this channel or on this platform. Oh yeah, here's another thing. It goes a lot further than people even think about. As a matter of fact, it's the reasoning behind what goes on in the social media companies. Why shadow banning is a thing. Why you can get thrown in Facebook jail just because you have an opinion on a certain subject. And so forth and so on. Like I said, it comes down to culture. The culture of the government, the culture of the FBI, the culture of worshiping and glorifying criminals and acting like thugs and so forth and so on. And until we change them things and start shining a spotlight on common sense and morality, we're going to get what we got. And more than likely, it'll get worse. We either escape the cage that's being and has been built for us, or we're going to stay locked in it until they come for us. It's all been laid out right in front of the whole entire world. Now it's up for each and every one of us to decide.